Warning, the stories you're about to hear are detailed accounts of shenanigans, pranks, and some mistakes that are meant to replicate the sort of discussions that veterans have when they reunite over a cold beverage and do not depict the professional daily actions of the military at large. We hope to make you laugh, but not to disrespect our proud men and women in uniform. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Cammo Comedy, where we take a humorous look at the lighter side of military service. We got a big show for you today, but before we jump into it, if you like what we're doing here, give us a subscribe, give us a follow, whatever they call it on your podcasting platform. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating, write us a review, as that makes us more relevant in the algorithm and boosts the overall visibility of the show. But word-of-mouth advertising is just so powerful, so if you tell some friends, I will love you forever. Okay, let's jump into the show. I am your host, Aaron Wolf. Just as a friendly reminder to the audience, we put out a new show every single Monday, so make sure you give the notification bell a nice tap so you don't miss a show. Give it a nice tap. You love tapping that shit, don't you? Also, we are doing laughter therapy on this show. We got a lot of military members left behind, so we're here to have a laugh and recall the good times that were had in the military. Joining me today is the man who started the trend of whipping a dining room chair at a line cook at the Waffle House, call sign Cheeks. Cheeks, thanks for being on the show today, man.
You know, I remember when I was a kid, we used to have pickle races where you go to Waffle House.
I'm frightened of what the pickle race is.
Well, we would go to Waffle House, and then everybody would take the pickles off of their sandwich or whatever it was, and then you would throw it on the window.
God.
And
we cannot condone this
whoever
at the Waffle
slid
House.
to the bottom first won.
You got to respect the motherfucking Waffle House.
You do.
All right, man. You ready for my first story?
I'm ready after I tell you to spread cheeks and not hate, sir.
Fucking A. All right, man. So, being mentally fit for duty is very important. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So, every once in a while, people in the military might get a little bit stressed and have to go see the shrink that's on base. You know, just work a couple things out, maybe take advantage of some of the resources that they might have. Maybe they're going to be able to direct you to a counselor.
Yeah, and there's no shame in that.
Right. So, our first story today.
I feel like there's so much more you're going to say.
Our first story today is about that guy. He had been through quite a bit of stressors in life, and his leadership noticed, hey, maybe you might benefit from going to talk to the shrink that's on base, maybe get some resources, they can help you out. And he was like, you know what? That's a good idea. So he calls up the number, talks to the lady real quick, says, hey, do you have any availability? It's earlier in the morning, and she says, sure, I'm free now. Why don't you come right over? So he's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So gets in, she welcomes him like in the waiting room and that kind of stuff like that, and says, hey, you know, I'm glad to see you. Why don't you come on in, sit down? So let me set the table of what this office looked like. There was a couch on one side of the office and another couch on the other side of the office. And they were sitting across from one another, right? Now, as the guy starts opening up and talking about his life stressors and things that were bothering him, things of this nature, it occurs to him that she might have wolfed down her breakfast because she appeared to be struggling with quite a bit of gas, right?
Gross.
So it started out pretty innocently at first where, you know, she was just like, so why don't you tell me, you know, what brought you here today? And she would kind of like, her cheeks would puff out, and she would do like the tromboner cheeks and stuff like that, where you kind of like puff your cheeks out. And then she would like try to very slickly let it go by breathing it into one direction. Like, every once in a while. And this was kind of a regular thing that was kind of coming up. You know, it's nothing too noteworthy at first. I mean, things happen.
But does she at least acknowledge it? Like, oh, excuse me.
She does not. And the guy that is seeking some assistance has a really good sense of humor, so he can't help but notice because, you know, let's face it, the bar is pretty low for his humor threshold, right? So he's just kind of like, okay, she's like, you know, burping and stuff like that. It was a little bit distracting, but he's just like, yeah, you know, I'm having some problems at home and things of this. And it would just be like,
it's so gross.
It's like, okay, is this happening right now? Like, okay, it's a little distracting. So it's throwing off his train of thought a little bit. And right about that time where he's getting distracted enough to kind of being thrown off his train of thought, she goes up on one cheek.
Stop it. Fucking stop it.
She goes up on one cheek, and you distinctively hear, Like just this, she's trying to creep out a fart, something like that. I don't know if it was like... Now, this is very distracting for the guy because he's like getting ready to be like, hey, like I'm having problems with my wife, whatever, that kind of thing.
Oh my God.
Sitting across from you, you've got the person that's supposed to be this professional. Now, granted, like this was a short notice, like, hey, come on over. So one can only assume she didn't really have a lot of time to collect herself, but it was like, hey, somebody's in need, come on over. We're just going to deal with it. I don't know. We can only assume like maybe it was taco night the night before and not everything had really settled. But look, it doesn't end there because he's just like, okay, I'm not going to acknowledge this. I just got to push through. So they're going through stuff. She's giving a lot of good advice and like, hey, here's some resources. And then she goes up on one cheek again.
Oh my God.
And it's a brrr. It's one of those like like squeakers where she assumes that she's being very smooth and like, hey, I'm uncomfortable. I need to let this stuff out. But it's only in the military, I can assume, that like when you go to seek some help, you can be distracted by your shrink or by the mental health care professional in the room who's just having a major gas attack.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, because the guy had a good sense of humor about everything, this cheered him up quite a bit, right?
Yes.
So he's like...
Maybe this was part of her game.
It could be. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not that well versed in the mental health profession. This could be a mental health strategy.
Yeah.
Where it's like, look, we're going to fight this thing with humor.
Yeah.
And I hear that this is a very effective method.
There is science behind it.
So...
Maybe she knew.
It could be. Could be. I never counted out. But... This was a very amusing session. We're happy to say that he got some good resources. Everything turned out really well. But when he left that session, he's like, I had to count like maybe 7 or 8 times where we had gas coming out of either the top or the bottom of this person, right? So this was just an amazing story that you don't really get this a lot of places, right? So you just have to appreciate it whenever it comes out.
I love that. That's amazing. So I got a short one. This is one of my own personal stories.
All right.
Yeah.
I love your stories.
Yeah, they're always fun. This one's not a long, elaborate story like some of the ones that have been in the past.
Fair. That's fair.
This is just a short, basic training story.
Well, we love basic training stories too. So.
Well, this is hand grenade day. So everybody who is out there, Cheeks did time in the Army as an infantryman, and then time in the Air Force as security forces, like the military and police side, okay?
All right.
Well, this was Army infantry basic training, and we're doing grenade day.
Okay.
And everybody is just super tired. We're stressed out, you know what I mean? We're terrified of our drill sergeants, and we get to the range, and we're all sitting down all crisscross applesauce, you know what I mean? Looking at the drill sergeants, and they're like, what are you doing? Go to a knee. We don't sit down like that. You know what I mean? And just in that very nice tone as they do.
Well, to be fair, I would imagine that a lot of the drill sergeants want to be uber nice to people on grenade day. For obvious reasons.
Yeah. So we're like, oh, okay, we don't sit crisscross applesauce. So we go up to a knee. Okay, yeah, drill sergeant. And then they'd be like, hey, stop kneeling on both your knees. You're not trying to suck a dick. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess we do one knee.
Speak for yourself.
So... Drill sergeant's going through, he's like, hey, this is how you hold the grenade. You put the spoon in your hand, you make sure the spoon's on your thumb, you hold it tight to your chest. There's a little pull pin here. You're going to pull the pin. And he holds the grenade up in his hand. All right, he's got pin in one hand, grenade in the other. He's holding it up in the air. And he's explaining, like, hey, these things have 3 safeties. The first one is your thumb safety that you sweep across for the spoon. The second one is the pull pin. And the third one is the actual spoon.
Right.
And we're like, oh, cool. It's not blowing up, so it's not like the movies. Cool.
Right.
He takes his grenade. He goes, this is safe until ping, and he moves his thumb.
Oh, shit.
Okay? And we're like, run! Run! Oh, my God, run!
We're all remembering that this guy hates us.
Yeah. So we're screaming. Everybody gets up and starts scrambling, like bear crawling, tripping over each other to get away. And all of a sudden you hear... We're like, oh, yeah. Everybody kind of settles back in. It was a training grenade.
Right.
Obviously. But if you don't know that it's going to be a training grenade, we've never seen a fucking grenade in our lives.
And that's exactly why he did that.
I know this motherfucker does this on every single iteration that comes through.
Because it has to be hilarious.
Oh, God,
every single time.
I can't imagine that not being funny one time.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, do you want to run through the difference between what a training grenade is versus a real grenade?
Yeah.
Aside from the obvious, but just in case, people in the audience might want to have a little bit more detail there.
Yeah, so I actually have like an old school inert training grenade. And if it's a training grenade, the top of it, where the spoon and the safeties and everything go on, it screws into the body of the grenade.
Right.
And then that body of the grenade is just hollow with a hole in the bottom.
Right.
Now, the top portion of it has a blasting cap on it. It's just a small piece of metal that has a tiny bit of explosive in it. It makes just a loud pop.
Right.
Okay.
And it's fairly safe. It's
yeah, I mean, if you were to grab it with your hand, it'd fuck your fingers up, like you blow your fingers off, but it's not like it's going to, if you hold it close to your body, it's not going to blow you into smithereens.
Right. Smithereens. I like your use of smithereens there, by the way.
Thanks. But, I mean, this goes into the hilarity of just drill sergeants, but also I think one of the funniest parts of that day was seeing how many non-throwing motherfuckers there were that joined the infantry.
God. Yeah.
Because there was like a wire, you like throw it over the wire, and you got people that are just, I don't know how to describe it, but their stance, they're like dropping down, trying to be like they're in the movies and throwing, it goes 4 feet and they're getting screamed at. And then you've got the other end of the spectrum of the guys who played baseball all through college and are hoofing it or hucking that thing further than the fence that's supposed to stop it.
Right.
But it was hilarious.
To be fair, I mean, people are wound up on that day, so maybe they're just being...
Well, yeah, they almost died by a grenade explosion. So that actually reminds me of a Murph story.
Yeah.
All right.
What's up, Murph? Murph's a regular character on the show.
He's a reoccurring regular character now, man. I love it. He's a funny guy. He's an old Vietnam dude, so welcome home, gents.
Thank you for your service.
And he is a character, man. So this story is when he first got in the country and he's pulling his first guard duty.
So this is in Vietnam.
This is in Vietnam.
Okay.
So he said he was on a small, like 5-acre compound.
Okay.
And on one of the sides, like the backside of the compound, was an RVN. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And he explained that it was a Army Republic of Vietnam. So it's like the Vietnam Army base that they're attached to. And we still do something similar like this today. Like when I was in Afghanistan, we had Afghan Army compounds that we were attached to as well, right?
Right.
Well, Murph talks about how this is the first day that he's doing tower guard. Okay. And anybody who's pulled tower guard or gone out on a mission, the first one you do is always very nerve-wracking, right? Your stress level's high, your anxiety's up, you're like, oh shit, you're on edge. Like, man, I got to make sure that I'm on point because everybody's counting on me.
Right.
So he climbs up into
especially
his
on a smaller compound, man.
Yeah, it's a 5-acre compound. That's not a lot of space, man.
No.
Like, that's not a lot of space.
Right.
So he climbs up in his tower, and he's on like one of the corners of the 5 acres, and he's looking around his tower, trying to figure out what all he's got. And he says that he's got a plunger for like claymores that are set up. He's got his range card there so he can see where it's at.
Okay.
He's got an M60, which is like the heavy-duty machine gun. They used to call it the Pig.
Right.
You know what I mean? They call it this a 240 Bravo nowadays. He's got tons of ammo for that thing. Looks over to the left. Oh, there's a grenade launcher over here. Shotgun shells. He's got flares, red and white flares for the grenade launcher. He's got shotgun shells. He's got his M16 that he brought with him. Obviously, he said he brought a whole bandolier worth of ammo to make sure he had enough.
Right.
He didn't realize he wasn't going to need it until he got him in the tower. But he's looking around. You know, he looks out to the left.
He's getting his bearings.
Yeah. He's kind of orienting himself. He's like, okay, I got this over here, that over there. Kind of looks off to the side and sees a 2-floor officer like building compound thing, right? And there's like a balcony. It's got sandbags.
Staying in style.
Yeah. He's got sandbags around. He says his eyes were a lot better back then, so he could actually make it out. But he's looking at it, he's squinting. He's like, man, what the hell is that? And he sees this big, long barrel sticking out the end. He's like, what the hell is that? Oh, that's a 50 cal. He's like, nobody in their right mind's attacking us from this side. He says he leans his chair back, kicks his feet up, and goes, takes a nap.
For those of you in the audience who might not know, a 50 cal is a serious machine gun.
It's the gun that you see on top of like all the gun trucks in the movies.
Yeah. If you ever give that a search, I mean, the ammo for that, it will fill up your palm.
It's a 4-foot barrel.
Yeah, it's a big motherfucker. Yeah. So it's serious. He was kind of... I would say that Murph was dialed in there.
Yeah.
He had the right idea.
Yeah. He's like, we're good.
All right, man. So check out this next story. We got a reoccurring character here. We're going to talk about Stimpy.
Oh, another reoccurring character?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
So Stimpy was the guy that projected his beat-off session like onto...
Yeah, he was fighting his own raccoon.
Yes. He had his little Jack Shack set up, and they had like these little shower curtains that were around, and he had his headlamp on and was kind of projecting all of this all over. That was like maybe episode like 2 or something like that.
That was early. I told that story, right?
That was an earlier episode, right? So this is that same guy. Right. So this happens. This is, I don't know, about 20-year-old story, something like that. So this happens on base, right? They're practicing squad movements on base. Now, the way this base was set up, they had old base housing that had been abandoned. They had other base housing that was still in business, but this had just been like, hey, this is condemned. And you had, infantry guys, security forces, whoever, that could use this area for training, right? So it was just abandoned buildings. And it's important to note, so like this was residential housing. So there was a lot of chain link fences, backyards, and the grass had grown up really tall, right? Wow. So it was pretty good. It was a pretty good location for them to practice like their troop movements and maneuvers and things of that nature, right? So you had to traverse through urban terrain, basically.
It sounds sufficiently miserable.
Well, check this out.
All right.
So they're traversing through these backyards, right? And every so often they're going to come to a regular like 4-foot chain link fence. And let me note this. So this was a night op, right? So everybody's got their night vision goggles, and they're practicing their troop movements through this high grass. Every so often, they're going to come to like a 4-foot chain link fence in these backyards, and they're going to have to traverse, these hazards, right? So what all the guys are doing is like when they're coming to the hazard, they kind of secure themselves. They find like one of the posts. They secure one of their hands over that, and they're able to just kind of like kick one foot up over, bring up the other foot, kick that over, and then land gracefully and go on about their way.
In a nice athletic movement.
In a nice athletic movement. As they're doing this, you kind of hear a shaking of a chain link fence, and then all of a sudden you hear, "Oh my God! Oh my God! Ah! Oh my God!" Ah! Stimpy is freaking the fuck out, right? Yeah. And so one of the guys is trying to move their night vision goggle thing, like, oh my God, like is a badger attacking this guy? Because there are like real world hazards out there, and they're thinking the worst. But as one of the guys that was behind him is able to kind of gear his night vision goggles over to see what was going on, it turns out that Stimpy had gotten the leg of his BDU pants like hung up on the fence post, and he was dangling upside down, like all of his gear and everything is like coming up, like hitting him in the chin and stuff like that. And he couldn't shake himself loose, so he started freaking the fuck out, right?
Roll over.
Imagine this. The one guy that could see him just immediately starts laughing. If you remember any of the earlier seasons of The Simpsons where Homer Simpson went back to college and the professor like dropped his notes and he was the only motherfucker in the auditorium that was just laughing and everybody turns, that's what this guy was doing. Everybody's like, is this guy hurt? Like, we should go help him. Now, it's fair to point out, the guy was laughing, was absolutely on his way to go help, but he just couldn't help the hilarity of seeing a grown man dangling upside down from a relatively short fence.
In full panic
and just losing his fucking mind and all that kind of stuff. So they go over, they help him down. He sprained his ankle a little bit. It wasn't like a major thing, but like from his shrieking, it felt as though like this guy could have been penetrated in a really bad way. It feels like maybe he could have had, one of the posts that went through like his calf or something like that.
Could have been fighting off an actual raccoon.
Exactly. So they help him down. Like they had to untwist some of his pant leg and get him down, and that gave him a great opportunity to do their self-aid buddy care. And since it was on base, they had to get him to the medics and get him helped out and all that kind of stuff like that. So flash forward like a couple of days. Stimpy, he gets his assistants and everything. He's got like a little bit of a boot on, nothing big. He's got some crutches. Just we're staying off of it, taking precautionary measures. He goes up to this guy. He's like, "Hey man, why were you laughing at me like that?" This dude's like, "Because it was fucking hilarious. Like you should have seen yourself dangling like that." And I will say, look, I got to defend him a little bit. As my friends get hurt, my friends fall, I'm going to run to help, but I'm going to be laughing the entire way. So if you get fucked up like that, I say that's fair game.
Agreed. As long as you're helping.
Yes.
After you're done laughing.
While you're laughing.
I think that's one of the big...
You can do two things at once.
I think that's a big difference between like military folks and normal folks. Is most people are like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." And then they laugh. Military folks are pissing their pants as they're trying to help you because they're like, "Fuck it, this is great."
Oh, yeah. We love it, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh.
thanks for checking out the Cammo Comedy Show Podcast. If you like what we're doing here and you want to participate in this community, there are many different ways that you can contribute. First and foremost, tell somebody about the show. Word of mouth advertising is very powerful, and we really appreciate you for helping us out. If you have any funny military stories of your own or know somebody who does, with their permission, of course, you can contribute those stories via email at stories@cammocomedy.com. That's stories, STORIES, at CAMMOCOMEDY.com. Or if you're not too good at the internet, drop us a voicemail at area code 531-222-6146. That's area code 531-222-6146. That's right, we're giving away our phone number. We want funny military stories from all eras. So if you're not from a generation that's heavily online, we don't want there to be a barrier for participation. We have a lot of big plans for this show and building this community to support veterans. We will announce here soon, so stay tuned. All right, I'm going to go have a nice spicy bowl of chili. Later.